So I want to do the full review numbers on this wing. I figure what better day to do it than a day with some wind. So obviously this is our downwind. I'm also going to try to maintain our altitude when I'm doing this best I can. That was interesting. It said we were at negative 158 feet. Wow, I'm trimmed fully in. We're at about 240 feet, 250, right around there. All right. Doing 41.5, 43.6, 43.8. I think 43 is about our number. Now let's turn into the wind. I didn't realize we were gaining altitude that whole time. Alright. 15, 16, 16.8, 17, 17.8, 18. I think it's kind of settled in. Yeah. I think about 18. Alright, so we're going to trim neutral, which is the white line. White line on our side of the buckle. Carl's trying to teach Richard to fly straight and level so that he can make nice smooth landings, touch and go, stuff like that. So 21, 22, 21, 22, 23, 22.9, I think 21.5, 22. Just for ease of math, we'll do 22. So now 43, 44, 45. I think we're gonna go about 44. Alright, so now we're going to try to trim all the way out. Let's get those. The only thing I don't know is if you're allowed to touch brakes when this thing's trimmed all the way out. Not really sure. Man, I really felt that speed up a lot. And our brake toggles went way higher too. Try to dampen out this oscillation and get us straight and level again. 26. Man, this thing really does like to oscillate. Hard to keep it straight. 23.8, 24, 23.7, 24. Alright, I think 24 looks about like our speed that way. We're just going to try to use mostly wingtip because, like I said, I don't know if I'm allowed to use the brakes or not. That seems pretty steady, right at 50. Yep, that's 50. Alright. Alright, so we're gonna trim back out. We're still up around 1,000 feet. Gonna make sure we're stable. Whew. try to hit speed bar. This thing is fast. Alright. Well, it's definitely the fastest swing I've ever been on. Holy smokes. I mean, just looking at the numbers, I can already tell you this wing's gonna fail the oscillation test. Guarantee that one. Well, let me get my trimmers. The magnets are in kind of a weird spot, right below the trimmer. Not used to that. All right. To me, the brake pressure feels somewhat similar to the RPM, but we're gonna find out. So, flat and level flight. We're gonna bring the wingtip to the horizon. Oh, a little past, but 2. Yeah, we're not dissipating. Well, maybe a little bit. No, we're not dissipating. We're still at the horizon. So, yep, failed that test. We definitely failed that one. Alright, so we're going to do our climb rate test. Then we'll do our brake pressure test. Alright, well, I guess we're just going to start at 750. Hit it. That's going to be 1250 right there. 1270 was our peak. 1269. So, alright. Now, let's get out our scale. Alright, so there we go, that's the horizon. Why is something's going on with my scale? It's weird. Yeah, brake pull is heavier on this than it is on my RPM. That's 8.5 pounds, and I'm not even quite to the horizon. See if I can. Oh, flew through my wake, and that was nasty. between 10 and 11 pounds. Which that's, I mean, it's not particularly heavy, but it's heavier than my RPM. But swing is very reactive though. Like, you pull a little bit more, you get a little bit more. I've been told that this wing can have a tendency to lock in, so especially it's kind of windy and bumpy today. I don't know that I want to really try a spiral dive. Woo. Alright, so see if we can do an efficiency test. We're gonna try to come down and fly straight and level. Yeah, it does feel like the wind is picking up. Yeah, I mean, alright, that's straight and level. 5,600. 5,630, yeah. 57. Make it. Woo. I do feel like this is a pretty efficient wing. Man, it's getting gross. I think we're gonna bring her in for a landing. There we go. That was a deep foot drag.
And that's our full review of the Ozone Freeride 17. Unfortunately, we don't have any B-roll or third-person video from a chase cam or anything of the Freeride, so unfortunately, I'm just going to give you some video of the Luna flying along, and we'll go over the numbers. Alright, so we're just going to walk you through the Ozone website here, and all the information on the Freeride. So, you can see all the color combos here. Now, I guess they don't really come up with names for their color combinations, so this was our color here, the Riri, or red, yellow, red, indigo. So that was a color combination that we flew. And here's just some basic information on the design, the pilot that they made this wing for. It's a competition slalom wing, which, like I said, most of you are probably familiar with. There's a picture of the same color combo we were flying. So this is the wing we're flying, a 17 meter. And one of the standouts here is the 17 meter is actually rated up to 140. So in order to be 100% weighted on this wing, I would actually have to be flying a 15 meter. But I guess it's just a coincidence, but the flow RPM that I fly is an 18 meter, actually has the same exact weight rating. So yeah. But those are all the numbers on the wing, and then over here in the manual we have a little bit of information about the trimmers and the speed system. So in here it states that with trimmers fully released, it is still possible to use the brakes for directional control without adversely affecting the stability of the profile too much. However, if you choose to fly faster than this by applying the speed bar, you must use the tip steering system for directional control, otherwise you risk collapse. The other thing that I saw in here is when accelerated directional control should be maintained with the tip steering system, do not use the brakes, but using the speed bar system has exactly the same effect as releasing the trimmers. Either can be used in any combination to accelerate the wing, but be careful, fully accelerated with trimmers released is very fast and should only be used in calm conditions. This specifically says that using the speed system has exactly the same effect as releasing the trimmers. So to me, that tells me that without the power attack or PAP, Kohler, or PK system or whatever, you could use the brakes with just the speed bar if you're fully trimmed in. But I would honestly say that you're better off just not using the brakes if you're going to use the speed bar at all. So if you're trimmed out, you're safe to use the brakes. As soon as you touch the speed bar, no more brakes. So without further ado, let's get into our numbers. So as you can see, all the information's here on the screen. We're flying the Ozone Freeride 17 meter, my all-up weight 264 pounds with fuel, 125 centimeter helix propeller on a standard Moster 185 with a 287 reduction. My base elevation is 175 feet. Barometric pressure on the day that these tests were conducted was 30.17. As you can see here, our trimmed in speed is 30.5 miles an hour. Technically, that's the fastest wing that we've tested thus far with that trimmed in speed. Neutral 33, trimmed out 37, and our magical speed bar fully accelerated full speed test 50 miles an hour. The first time that I've hit 50 miles an hour. And actually, obviously that's the average of the two directions. As you can see in the video, we actually hit almost 63 miles an hour going downwind, but 50 miles an hour is pretty substantial. It's definitely a fast wing. Our brake pressure here, 10.5 pounds. So the flow RPM was 7.5 pounds. And I have heard, and I can confirm, that the Ozone Freeride doesn't have super light brake pressures. I guess the Freeride 2 is even heavier brake pressures, but you know, obviously brake pressure isn't everything, but if you're looking for super light brake pressures where you can just tickle the brake with a finger and get a huge turn, then maybe the Freeride might not be the wing for you. What I can say though is the wing is definitely very capable, and with a little bit of extra force put on the brakes, it could definitely do anything that you want it to do. So our climb rate was 580 feet per minute, which is actually, I think, the best climb rate that I've had in any test so far that I've posted. I have flown a couple wings that had better climb rates than that, but none that we've actually done full reviews for. So far that puts that in first place. So our trimmed in RPM is 5,620 RPM, which is pretty good for a 17 meter wing. That's very efficient. Trimmed out, we were at 6,750, and fully accelerated on speed bar, I was full throttle. That's 8,200 RPM, 8,250. It depends on the elevation that I'm at, but when I was up around 1,000 feet, I was maxing out at about 8,200 RPM. And I think I was actually gaining like 10 or 15 feet a minute. So we were pretty much level flight. So I was able to maintain level flight fully accelerated, but that may not be the case for everyone on every motor at every weight. So just be aware of that. And then obviously we have our oscillation test, which the wing failed. The wing oscillates, there's no doubt about it. It's not a wing that you can just sit there and fly hands off all day. You're going to have to correct oscillations. You're going to have to stabilize the wing. It's just going to happen. And if you're flying a free ride, I'm pretty sure you're already aware of that. So it's not a big surprise to you. But my final thoughts on the wing. I do like the wing, but if I'm honest, I'm not sure that the Freeride is the wing for me. I am the type of pilot that does like to fly hands off at times. I want to do fun swoopy turns and little baby wing overs, which hopefully will progress to bigger wing overs and maybe barrel rolls and sats and things in the future. But I feel like there are other wings out there that are capable of doing those things while still being capable of flying hands off and being stable. Now, they might not do those things as quickly or as easily or as dynamically. You know, every wing has its own characteristics and its own personality, but to me, being stable and being able to fly hands off, at least at this point in my flying career, is kind of important to me. So I do feel like this is the first wing that I've flown that I don't necessarily know that I would buy it for myself. But that's not saying that it's not a good wing. It is a purpose-built wing. It has a purpose, and I just don't feel like that purpose was directed towards me. The one thing I do love about it is the speed. This wing is fast. I really like how fast it is, but I feel like the sacrifice of stability is just something that I'm not willing to give up. And I feel like there are other wings that I could achieve the same speed, achieve near or comparable maneuverability and agility while not having to give up that stability. So, as much as I enjoyed flying the Freeride, this one is not going to be going in my wing bag.